Reminder, y'all can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, especially YouTube. I got lots of animal rights videos, debates just like this, or crazy protests of me with a megaphone all covered in fake blood, destroying everybody's peaceful lunch by standing on their table screaming about slaughterhouses. M Lord, what's up?
Hey, hi. I've been a vegetarian all my life. I've never eaten meat because
Cool.
I'm an Indian and I've never I've survived without meat and I've been vegan for the last 3 years.
Cool.
And I know like there have been lots of stats and everything, but just from my personal experience, I can definitely say that I don't have any deficiencies or I'm not like unhealthy or something. I've been doing my tests regularly,
Cool.
so I can just attest to the fact that meat and dairy is not really necessary. I know it's just a personal experience. It doesn't have that much weight, but I'm just putting it out there for other people. So it's definitely fine without meat and dairy.
Cool. Right
And
on. I appreciate your input. Yes, of course, that is just anecdotal evidence. That's just one story from one person in the world. And honestly, you could be lying to us. You're just some dude on the internet. So we don't, that's, I'm just trying to make sure, like, I believe you, but I'm just trying to make sure everybody knows how to evaluate claims and evidence and to demand really good evidence rather than just me telling you something. Do some real research, right? Look at what the scientists are saying. I'm not a scientist. I'm just some asshole on the internet, right? Okay, go ahead, M Lord.
right, right. Yep. I came across some people, when I'm debating about veganism with them, so there was this one person, he just thinks that, animals are different than humans. So animal rights are not to be mixed with human rights. So animals don't have human rights. They are to be treated as differently. And the person is okay with, killing dogs as well for food. So how do I argue against such people, who
Yeah.
considers animals to be completely different? Different,
Oh,
different.
okay. Okay, got you. I like your accent, by the way. It was just hard to understand that one part. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So,
I have an heavy Indian accent, so yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I've got a lot of friends from India. Okay, so, yeah, so I would just ask them what is the difference between humans and animals that justifies legal protection to safety for humans and a knife in the throat for animals. And if they say, well, they're just the difference, well, they might say, well, animals are not as intelligent as humans. They're not able to care about us, so why should we care about them? Or they're not able to create big cities and buildings and stuff, so they're not as smart as us, so we can kill them and eat them. But that's ableism, and so it's discrimination against someone's intelligence level or their physical ability. So ableism is a form of discrimination and violence, right? So you would just ask them then, well, look, there's a mentally disabled human who is only as smart as these animals. Is it okay to kill these humans because they're not as smart as us? And the person will probably say no, and then you can show them that that was a contradiction and that intelligence level is not a justification to hurt somebody, whether they're human or animal. But if they're now just going to say, oh, well, okay, it's got nothing to do with their intelligence level, then it's actually just that they're not the same species as us. Okay, well, that's just like racism or sexism. That's, nobody gets to choose what body they're born into, and there's nothing wrong with being different. That's choosing an arbitrary line of discrimination based on just some uncontrollable attribute of someone's body that they couldn't control. So, yeah, so that same kind of thing, that it's called a shell argument, what shell somebody is in. Okay, that is a very weak argument, and it justifies racism and sexism and all kinds of terrible things. So, yeah, so it doesn't matter how smart somebody is or that they were born with fur instead of skin. What matters is they feel pain and pleasure and they want to live. And we have no right to abuse the power we hold over the weak. We must use our power for good and protect those who are at our mercy and not exploit their vulnerability, because that's what bullies do to children who are smaller than them. That's what dictators and tyrants and serial killers do to their victims.
Right. Okay, so it's basically discriminating against animals is equating that to like sexism or ableism or something like that. Am I right?
Yes, racism, ableism, sexism, all that stuff. And if the person still doesn't care, you can say, well, you wouldn't want to be treated like that. What if you had been born as that animal? Then, you would hope that the humans would be nice to you. You can also use the analogy of aliens, like a hypothetical scenario. If aliens exist and they're smarter than us and they come to Earth and they start to treat us the way we've been treating animals, lower beings, right? These aliens start to treat us. They put us in cages, enslave us, torture us, kill our babies, and now they're coming at us with the knife, and we're just children when they want to kill us and eat us, because that's how old these animals are when they're killed. They're just children, and so. The whole time though, we're screaming for mercy. Please, aliens, don't kill us. We want to live. And the aliens don't care. They just care about their taste buds, and they say things like, "Oh well, we're the dominant species. Sorry, we're the apex predator, and you're below us. Whatever. You're not as smart as us. You're not the same species." But the funny thing is that a small group of those aliens are vegan aliens, like 2% are vegan aliens who are saying to the other aliens, hey guys, why don't we be nice to the humans? Like, it doesn't matter that the humans weren't born as aliens or that they're not as smart as us. What matters is the humans feel pain and pleasure and they want to live. They have friends that they care about. They have a life waiting to be enjoyed. They don't want to die, right? But the aliens that are eating us are laughing at the vegan aliens, saying, "What do you care about these stupid humans for? They're not part of our group. They're not smart like us. They're just dumb humans," right? And that's speciesism.
Right.
Yeah, so those aliens would be discriminating against humans on the basis of our species. And that's speciesism. And that's what we do to animals. We say they're not humans, so we can stab them. Speciesism.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I like the alien analogy here.
Okay, cool. Well, it was
Uh,
really, really
um,
nice talking to you. I appreciate your input and thank you for everything you're doing for the animals and for humans.
yo, holy shit! I've been waiting for like a long ass time.
Nice, nice. We got you. What's up?
What's up, man? What's up, man?
What's
All right.
up?
Well, I just have a couple questions.
I got a couple answers.
I'm gonna hold you to that. So, when it comes to veganism, how do you think we're gonna transition into that within however many years you think the whole world will be able to go vegan?
Yeah, I think it'll be something like 10, 20, 30 years for, a whole bunch of countries to, go vegan kind of thing. Um, so yeah, we'll, thanks to activism, like different forms of it, we're raising awareness, educating, motivating people to go vegan and become activists. Like you don't have to join or like you don't have to lead the march or anything, but though I recommend it, it's really fun. Like if you find an animal rights march, go to it. It's cool. You get to scream. But you can just like talk to your friends and family about this issue every now and then, post videos of slaughterhouses on your social media so that people know what's going on and quit fucking eating them, right? But yeah, so like it's gonna be a gradual change, and it's not gonna happen overnight, and it's gonna start with like small progressive cities, and they'll outlaw animal products and slaughterhouses and all this stuff, and then other cities will do the same thing, and then a whole state will do it, and then other states, and then we'll have enough momentum to create a federal law to make it illegal nationwide to needlessly kill animals. So that's what happened with the California fur ban. We banned the sale of fur in California recently because of the animal cruelty. And it worked that same way. Starts with small progressive cities in California and then spreads to bigger cities in California, takes over the whole state, and then other states want to join it too. And then Israel, the whole country, banned the sale of fur. So that's cool. And that's also what happened with like the gay marriage movement.
Okay, so I kind of want to verge off this topic because something just came to mind. How do you feel about religious, not really religious, cultural wise, like cultural foods and all of that kind of stuff? Like, yeah,
Yeah, I
what do you
got you.
think about that? Like,
Yeah, so like there's whatever culture we're talking about, there's going to be good parts of it and bad parts of it. So my I'm Scottish, living in the U.S., but like so I was handed down by my society and my parents a certain customs, traditions, cultural practices, and some of them are fine because they're not hurting anybody, right? Like wearing a kilt, or speaking with a nice Scottish accent, having a good time, drinking some fucking Guinness, then, innit? Right? The music, the bagpipes,
Yeah.
the bagpipes, right? All that's well and good, but the haggis is a sheep's bladder, like their urine, their bladder filled with like their organs and then cooked in a oven. Disgusting and
Yep.
animal cruelty. So I'm not doing that, right? And I've been handed down like prejudiced beliefs about different races of people, different women and gay folks, right? It took me a while to break free of a lot of different forms of discrimination that was taught to me. So we got to hold on to the good parts of our culture and eradicate the bad parts.
Okay, so I'm actually Filipino, right? And I'm gonna use my dad as an example. He grew up on the streets, and when I say the streets, I'm not talking about like in the trenches, in the gang, in the ghetto. No, he was literally born onto these streets. He lived on the streets. So him going around, I guess you could say, killing animals and feeding himself to survive. How like would you consider that animal cruelty?
Well, I mean, it's cruel to the animals, just in the sense that like it's unfortunate or sad when anybody gets hurt. But if you have to do something in a survival situation, that's way different. Like defend yourself if you're being attacked. Or
Yeah.
eat to stay alive. And if you have no access to plant foods, then you're not our target audience. We don't want to make people feel bad if they're in a bad spot.
I feel like a lot of vegans. I'm not gonna say a lot. I'm gonna say I feel like some vegans don't understand that,
I think that
and I've always wanted to just hear someone actually agree with that and actually like say like what, yeah, in these certain situations it is okay to do it.
okay, so
What do
that's
you
just,
think?
that's just not been my experience. Just like
I mean, I mean
most of the
that's yeah.
most of the vegans I
That's fine.
talk to, you know, uh, and I'm in the movement for sure, and been here for a while, right? Vegans understand that there are scenarios where if can't have access to plant foods, then do what you got to do to survive. The definition of veganism means as far as possible and practicable, like the elimination or minimization, reduction of animal cruelty as far as possible and practicable, which leaves room for you to eat if you have to stay alive. But generally speaking, we're just
Okay.
saying don't kill for pleasure, and don't tell us you need to eat animals if you actually don't. Now, your dad, it sounds like, actually did need to eat animal products. So I ain't trying to, bash him or nothing. I would have done the same thing probably, right? It's still sad for the animals, but he did
Yeah.
what he had to do, okay? But you do not have to eat animals, do
Okay.
you?
Um, as far as recently, probably not. I wouldn't say that.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yes.
but here, so here I
So,
want to go ahead and bridge up into another topic.
well,
But
sure, sure, sure. But I just want to say one last thing.
yeah.
If you can go vegan, you should go vegan. You must go vegan. Go ahead.
Okay, so like I said, as of recently, so my grandma, she works for Nestle, which is I would assume a non-vegan company,
Yeah.
and what do you call it there? Fuck, I had a point.
You want to talk
She
about?
was one of our main incomes in the house. She was one of the main incomes in our house, and without that company, God knows where the fuck I would be right now. Probably eating dirt or some shit, like genuinely. But like I said, in this situation where I'm in America, not America, I'm in Canada, and I have other options to eat, would you consider like my situation to be something I guess animal cruel?
Yes.
One, she works for a company that I guess fuck, I'm like really messing up. Wait, hold on,
It's
let me
okay.
take a deep breath. She works for a company that I guess quote unquote supports animal cruelty, and
Hmm.
I consume those products within yeah, and I would say we really did it just to cut corners and do all that stuff. I guess for lack of a better term, because I feel like going vegan is decently expensive for more than
Nope.
5 people
Nope. Nope.
at a
No.
time.
No. Nope. Nope. Let me clear that up real quick. Like the cheapest foods in the grocery store are vegan: rice, pasta, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, beans, bread. Okay, and then you got vegan
But
burgers. Well,
just
just one second. It's all about the
okay.
it's all about the sauce and the seasoning. Don't be scared. Okay, we also got vegan burgers that are only slightly more expensive, and the cost of those will go down as more people buy them. This is the beginning of a movement. But yeah, so soon, like Burger King's gonna be vegan, everything will be fine. But right now, it's cheaper to be vegan.
I feel like that's really just more for the sense just for single people living and single persons.
No,
'Cause
you can cook a
really,
big meal
I mean,
of rice and pasta and beans and potatoes for really cheap, and it'd be delicious and nutritious, and no need to hurt animals.
okay, but would I'm just saying would, and hypothetically speaking, not even hypothetically speaking, let's say you buy a bag of rice for how much is a bag of rice roughly in your area?
It depends on the size of the rice, what kind of rice, and but
Let's say jasmine rice, maybe
I
one
don't
kilo.
I don't really know, but like super cheap, like a buck or two, for a nice good sized bag of rice.
Yeah, sounds about right. Okay. At the same time, fuck, I actually don't know where I was going with
That's
that.
because you
You know,
don't have an
I wasn't
argument.
kidding.
That's because you don't
I
have an
swear to God, I
argument.
had argument. I swear to God, I had a good argument. I had a good argument. I just
No.
thought that you can't.
Oh.
I just said jasmine. I was like, oh, no, it's not.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened.
Fuck.
I'll tell you what happened. You forgot a shitty argument.
No.
Yeah,
That's not even
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. I swear to God, I
yeah,
had a good argument.
yeah.
One thing. Okay, you know what? Here, I'll go to this part.
Okay.
I'll go to another argument.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do about all the businesses that are a part of these products? And like you said, you can just switch over, but I don't think it's just as simple as transitioning over.
It is.
Such as how so? How you think these businesses could just snap their fingers and change all their products altogether, shut down all these factories, make new factories?
Whoa, hold on. Technical difficulty. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Industry changes. Products get replaced. Companies go out of business. No, nobody should be crying about, a society evolving and like making better, more efficient products. So just change jobs. It's like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It'll be a gradual change over 10, 20, 30 years. They'll see it coming. They'll see the change coming and stop breeding.
There it was. So changing jobs. Like I said, without that Nestle job, I probably wouldn't even be alive.
I doubt that. Okay, so like, look, your mom could. There's a lot of jobs that do not involve animal cruelty. But like, I'm also.
I don't think they would pay as good. I just don't think they would just pay as good.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot of jobs that pay really well that do not involve animal cruelty. Okay.
But would they give that job to a 60-year-old woman?
Probably if she's been working if she's been working yes, they would. It depends on the job, of course, but if she's got a good work history, then yeah, she'll get the job.
I wouldn't say so. She's been in debt for a while.
Well, she's been working at Nestle's this whole time, so that's a good resume. All right. So anyway.
No, but I'm saying like if she didn't have that job in the first place, I just don't think we would be surviving.
Okay. Well, I just think she could have gotten a job somewhere else, and yeah, she may not have been as well paid. Maybe, like though, she could have theoretically got a job somewhere else that doesn't abuse animals and get paid more. Okay, there's a lot of different jobs out there, but the point here is that when we know better, we do better. And so when we realize that we're hurting somebody, we should stop. And there's lots of families who provide for themselves without hurting animals. There's a lot of vegan families out there. Okay, so you would not eat dirt; you would eat vegetables.
Yeah, that's a fair argument. Look, actually, I'll give you that. That's a fair argument.
Cool.
I don't know. I just kind of got fucking lost for half an hour, and I was like, wait, I'm getting called up now. I'm not prepared for this at all.
Nope.
I really wasn't. I was prepared earlier. I'm like, yo, what is he saying? This. And then now I'm just like, fuck.
It's all good. It was fun talking to you. All right.
Moments like this.
if you wanna chat with us again, we do these stages every day, and there's a bunch of other activists who would love to talk to you, and you'll hear their perspectives instead of mine. I've been talking all day. People are probably sick of hearing my voice, but anyways, chat with us again soon. All right.
I'm Mike. I'm sure you.
Okay. Later. All right, everybody. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube, you're going to find a bunch of crazy animal rights videos, me protesting, leading marches of like 1,000 vegans, shutting down the mall, shutting down slaughterhouses, rescuing animals, getting arrested. Follow me on YouTube. Just click on my face here, and it'll lead you to a link to my top 20 videos. And so, not British. What up?
Yo,
What's up?
or man, I've been so hyped. I talked to you yesterday, and man, I was just thinking, I really want to talk to you again.
Cool.
Yeah, you really got to me.
Nice.
So there were a few things I just wanted to talk to you about. Well, the first one was I heard, and this just popped into my head. You're talking about how, so whenever somebody would always bring up about how, you put so pigs are in gas chambers and stuff like that, and people are gassing these pigs to kill them. So I put another gas things to kill them. Well, I say things, but more like people. Gas things to kill them. Hitler. So in a sense, you are the pig's version of Hitler. Do you really want to be that kind of person supporting people like Hitler? So stuff like that. That was my first thought. I don't know if it's a weak argument. You can use it if you want. I don't care. I think it's just, maybe in my head it sounds a whole lot better. I don't know.
Well, I understand.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is that I feel like. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, we need to just, we want to be a little careful with the words we use sometimes, just because we want to be, sensitive to the struggle that other humans have gone through. We want to be mindful of that. But at the same time, there are similarities and differences between different forms of oppression, whether we're talking about oppressing women or gay people or Jews or black folks or animals or whatever the case may be. There's going to be similarities and differences between those oppressions and those movements, those fights for justice. But but the reality is, yes, they put pigs in gas chambers, and that should upset people. Bread boy, come on up. So most bread is vegan. Some bread has milk in it. So don't buy that shit because that's the titty juice of a mother whose baby we murdered. What's up, bread boy?
Yeah, hello?
How you
Hello?
doing?
I'm doing well. First things first, I want to say I applaud you for being up here all day,
Oh, thanks.
arguing with people, not believing what generally you would believe and trying to convince others. I believe that you are a great debater.
Thanks.
Ye-
It's just a shame
Yeah,
I'm
so-
wrong about everything.
when you're comparing things, it doesn't quite make sense to others, or it doesn't make sense to me per se. Like, I don't get how you're comparing being ableist to eating bacon.
Okay.
I personally,
Okay.
I don't eat pigs. I don't eat pork because it's not really cool for me. I don't eat. I just don't eat pork. I took a class in actually dietary substance like years ago, and I told myself, I shouldn't be eating all this stuff because it's unhealthy sometimes. But the class also said that it's healthy because your body needs it. So it was a really controversial statement based on whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Also, I believe the leading cause of heart disease is not mainly just meat itself, it's the way that how it's cooked. Like if you have fried food your entire life, of course you're going to have a heart attack. But if you eat vegetables, you're not really going to have a heart attack because there's not that much oil being pumped into your body.
Yeah, but it's not just the oil; it's the actual contents of animal products. Meat, dairy, and eggs are the only things that have cholesterol. And trans fats, right? And really high levels of saturated fats. So, so that's what's driving the heart disease. Okay, you also want to make sure that you don't smoke cigarettes and you gotta exercise regularly, but vegans have a way lower risk of heart disease than meat eaters or vegetarians. But you had said something earlier that I wanted to touch on, that you don't understand my comparisons between humans and animals. So can we explore that?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, I don't know how long you've been in the audience, what you heard me say, and all that stuff, but basically my point is just that what species somebody's born into is just as arbitrary as what eye color somebody is given, right? Like nobody
How
gets
so?
nobody gets to control that, right? That's what I mean by arbitrary and irrelevant.
Wait. So by saying that, by saying that, you believe in the natural fact of genetics, right?
That like we pass down our genetics. Yeah.
Yeah, or the trait that there's the chart that you learn in school, and there's the dominant gene and the recessive gene.
Yeah, I ain't too smart with biology, but whatever you say.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, okay, yeah. So, okay, so what was I saying? The arbitrary, yeah, eyeballs. So like, what's the difference between a dog and a pig, dude? Like a dog, yeah, they got furry tail. A pig's got a twirly tail. One oinks, one barks. Stab one, give legal rights to not be killed for the other. Doesn't make any sense. That's speciesism. All right. The difference between a human,
Wait, but is it really?
yeah, that's the same kind of
When you
system.
think about it
That's the
from the
same.
dawn of time. Wait, well, hold up. When you think about it from the dawn of time, dog has been shown to be man's best friend.
Okay, people have pigs as their best friend. I have lots of pigs as friends.
Okay, but did a caveman own a pig as his best friend? I don't believe so.
Well, dude, cavemen used to like sexually assault women, right? Not cool. So I'm not gonna just do whatever cavemen do.
Okay, but cavemen also gathered and hunted, which means that they also ate veggies, didn't they?
Yeah, our ancestors over the past 300,000 years have been predominantly plant-based. There was hunting, but they predominantly foraged before agriculture. But just because something was done in the past doesn't make it okay to do now. They also did a lot of terrible things to other humans back then. Whatever, doesn't matter, right?
Wait,
Okay, so
you're
so
talking.
yeah, okay, cool. So speciesism, right? No difference between a dog and a pig. That no legitimate difference, right? There's differences, but the similarities outweigh those differences. So that's like racism, saying be nice to
I
dogs.
thought that was speciesism.
I'm trying to show you through analogies because these things are very similar. Okay, so there are differences between
Can I
species.
ask, what do you think racism means?
Yeah, so there's similarities and differences between racism and speciesism. There's differences between black folks and white folks, differences between dogs and pigs. But none of those differences justify a knife in the neck. Okay? These are irrelevant. Nobody gets to choose what body they're born
Yes.
into, and there's nothing wrong with being different. So we should just be nice to everybody. If we're against racism and sexism, we should be against speciesism as well. And we should also be against ableism, which is that discrimination based on someone's ability or their physical or intellectual ability. So if we think if we use a justification that it's okay to kill animals because they're not as smart as us, then that can be used against humans with mental disabilities who are only as smart as those animals. If you're saying intelligence level is the justification
Yes,
for
but
violence,
did I say
then
that?
then we can stab mentally disabled people. And I don't support
Did
that.
I say that?
That's the logical conclusion.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
don't
law.
support
I'm
that
saying,
either.
okay, good. I'm saying that's the logical
That's
conclusion.
not a logical
No,
conclusion.
that
to what
is
you
the
just stated
logical
out.
conclusion of that
That is
argument.
not.
It is. If your reason is, and I'm not saying this is your reason, I'm saying that when people tell me that it's okay to kill animals but not humans because animals aren't as smart as us, and then I point out a human with a mental disability who's only as smart as a
Wait,
pig,
so
finish
do you think the
wait,
problem
I'm
is
in the middle of
that
a sentence, bud. Hold on. Okay? When I show them a human with a mental disability who's only as smart as a pig, and I say, well, can we stab them? That's the logical conclusion of your argument, is that they're not as smart as us, so fuck them, right? But then the person always says, oh, well, not always. Sometimes they do say, yeah, fuck them. We can kill mentally disabled people. They're not as smart as us. They don't contribute to society. I hear mediators say that shit to me all the fucking time. It's really annoying. But I also hear them, instead of just embracing that absurd conclusion of violence against the disabled, sometimes they'll make a contradiction, which is fun as well, where they say, oh, no, don't do it to humans. That would be terrible. And then I'm like, well, that's a contradiction because you just said that the reason it's okay to do this is because levels of intelligence. So now all of a sudden that reason just magically floated away. And now it's all just about what species somebody's born into. And that boils down to just like racism and sexism, speciesism. Nobody gets to choose what body they're born into. Leave them alone.
So would you say that you're not actually mad at that? You're mad at the point that people use that as a choice to do it?
Yeah, I'm just mad at animal cruelty and illogical, violent, selfish justifications for committing animal abuse. Yeah, I don't like racism or sexism or ableism or any form of discrimination.
Okay, so based on your entire argument, the only thing that I really got from that was that you hate people who say that pigs are like disabled people.
No, what? No, I hate it when people treat pigs violently just because they're different than us. I don't even hate those people. I'm just mad at them. I'm mad at their behavior. I hate their behavior. That's for fucking sure. But I'm trying to love people, and I'm a human rights activist. I used to eat animals. I ate animals for 26 years. I realized we were brought up into a speciesist culture that socially conditions us and indoctrinates us into a certain way of thinking. But we got to break free of that shit, man. Because it's not all right. And like, if we'd have grown up in the 1700s in the American South, we would have grown up to be racist and to think that it's okay to own slaves. But it ain't, and just because we were taught something don't make it right. And so we got to step outside of ourselves and these prejudiced beliefs that were forced on us by our society and our parents, and wake up and look at the victim and say, they don't want to be treated like that. I don't want to be treated like that. Why would I treat someone like that?
From no point in time in human history has animals been anywhere near like comparison to that treated as slaves or that any of them that I mean, like, do you like to eat slaves? Do you eat slaves? If you owned a slave, would you eat them?
So when I was eating animals, I was eating slaves, bud. So here, let's
You were
watch
eating slaves to
yeah,
what?
yeah. So let's watch a slaughterhouse video together. How's that? And we'll see if these animals are slaves or not. Ready?
Quite frankly,
You ready?
yeah, quite frankly, I watched tons of those. I mean,
Okay.
they were in the chat.
Okay.
Saying
If they're not
I mean,
slaves,
I
what
saw
are
the-
they? Free?
Not exactly. No,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
exactly.
only-
These are meat slaves. These are milk slaves, egg slaves. Not cool.
Yeah, so so what I'm thinking is that one day a chicken's just gonna wake up and be like, "Hey, yo, where'd my egg go?" Is that what I'm hearing is happening right now? Or
I feel like you're like
You're just
derailing. You're derailing from the issue at hand. Are these animals
I'm
slaves?
not.
Are they slaves?
They are not. No.
Can an animal be a slave? Is that possible?
An animal cannot be a person.
I didn't.
don't
Well, first
even-
of all, animals are people. They're just not human people. We are fighting to get them
Okay,
legal.
so
We are
what did you-
fighting.
wait,
We are
excuse me,
fighting.
what?
We are
That was
fighting.
a
We
contradiction.
are fighting to get them legal personhood under the law, so that they have protection in court and legal rights to not be needlessly exploited and killed by humans. They are not humans. They are people. These are babies and their mothers. These are conscious individuals who care how they're treated. They're just not human.
Okay. What would you define as a vegan?
Yeah, somebody who, to the best of their ability, tries to eliminate or reduce animal cruelty.
Pardon?
A vegan is someone who does their best to reduce or eliminate animal cruelty as far as possible and practicable.
Okay.
But I'm also a hardcore activist, so I take serious direct action.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all I wanted to really ask. Oh wait. Well, one last thing. I was in here earlier, and in the stage text, there was like a mentioning that eating meat is like being sexually attracted to raping women. I don't know how that correlates to anything about veganism.
I'll try to clarify that for you. I'm not sure exactly what you heard or who said what, but my interpretation of that and how I would connect those two is that, first of all, if you drink milk, those animals are sexually assaulted. They are female cows and the males are restrained, tied down so that they can't get away, and they struggle. while the farmer, I shouldn't say we because I don't do this, the farmer, who you pay, touches their genitals, masturbates the bull to extract sperm from his penis, and then puts a giant glove on his arm, the farmer does, that goes all the way up to his shoulder, and inserts his whole arm up to the shoulder into the female cow's anus, and against her will, while she's restrained, and this is sexual assault, and he pushes down her cervix, and then with the other hand, he takes a metal pole about 3 feet long with that bull sperm on the end of it, and shoves this goddamn metal pole into these female cows' vagina to force them to be pregnant. Okay? And then she's pregnant for 9 months. She builds a bond with her baby while it's in her womb. And then on the day of the baby's birth, the farmer steals the baby, making the mother cry for weeks, and kills the baby for veal, which I used to eat and am ashamed of myself for, and then forcibly re-impregnates the mother against her will, sexually violating her again. And then after 3 or 4 years, she can no longer produce any more milk or any more babies, so she's useless to us, so we send her to a slaughterhouse when she's like 4 years old, even though she still had 20 years of life to experience, and then we feed her to our children. Okay, so as far as that, like, you know, if you buy animal products, that's also the meat industry, not just the dairy industry, and that's the egg industry also. So if you buy animal products, you support sexual assault and bestiality. All right, so there's that. Then the other thing is that I would say, yeah, when a human, like a guy, says, hey, I don't care about this woman's rights or desires or needs or preferences to not be, you know, sexually assaulted. I don't care. I only care about myself and my pleasure. Well, sorry, mate. That's what we do to animals when we fucking say, hey, I don't care about the animals. I know they suffer and they kick and scream and fight to stay alive and they got little babies that they care about, but I only care about myself and my pleasure. So I'm going to do whatever kind of violent things I want to do or pay someone to do it for me so that I can get the pleasure of my taste bud. I don't care about the victim. So that's how sexually assaulting a woman is similar to eating animals.
So, would you be mad at someone if they didn't know this information?
No, not really. Like, I mean, the tricky thing is, though, like, is that we all kind of know to some degree, and then a lot of us, like myself included before I made the change, I didn't want to know. I got mad at anybody who tried to educate me and motivate me, right? Because I wanted to stay in that human supremacist mindset. I wanted to think, don't fucking tell me what to eat. This is my meal. I'm paying for this food. Who the hell are you? I said to my vegan girlfriend and broke her little heart. Just because I was like, I had to get the veal. And she's like, just don't get the veal. Anything but the veal. It's a baby animal. They don't let them walk around because they'll get exercise. So they keep, you know, the exercise will make the meat less tender. And that's why veal is so tender, is because it's a baby animal who didn't get any exercise. Please don't eat that. And I was like, got mad at her. What the fuck is that? Selfish.
So, while you're feeling with your journey in your veganism, would you say that you're also ashamed of what you did?
Yeah, I'm ashamed of those things, but I can't be held to the same degree of like moral culpability or responsibility as someone who has seen the slaughterhouse videos, because I hadn't even, like, she didn't even really explain it in depth, you know, and I didn't see the videos, and I was 18 when that happened and stuff, but then, like, I kept eating animals for like 8 more years, you know, until I was 26, and if somebody tries to show you slaughterhouse videos and you won't watch them, that's fucked up. Because you're paying for that to happen. If it's not good enough for your eyes, why is it good enough for your stomach? All right. So, but if you don't know anything about this and you're open to learning and changing and taking action, then it's all good. Like, but you got to change. You got to change right now. You know, there's no time to wait. Justice delayed is justice denied. MLK. They've been genetically modified and selectively bred to overproduce milk and eggs and meat, you know, to grow as big as possible, as fast as possible. And this really hurts their little bodies. And so we should not be breeding them into existence. Like the pug, you know, that dog, a pug. Pugs, their nose is like smushed into their face, and they have breathing problems. So like they'll still enjoy their life to some degree, but they're like in constant, suffering. So we should not be bringing pugs into existence, but take care of the pugs who do still exist. Restricting their breeding is the best thing to do in that scenario, because the alternative is to either kill them, like let you guys kill them, or to let them keep breeding and having children who experience a lot of health problems, and then those are more mouths that we then have to feed and more emissions that they put out, greenhouse gas emissions, which is bad for the environment. Like we can't afford this. We don't have the resources to do this. So yeah, like there's no, like, you don't have to breed. If you have a dog or cat, you don't have to breed them. You shouldn't breed them. There's a million dogs and cats in shelters in America who are killed as young animals because people are buying from breeders instead of adopting from shelters. So it's the same kind of thing. Like, we're doing the best we can in an imperfect situation. It's based off of looking at scientific, empirical evidence demonstrating clearly, conclusively that just like humans, animals are conscious, sentient individuals who care how they're treated. They have a brain and a nervous system. They feel pain and pleasure, joy and fear. They have friends and families that they care about, lives that matter to them, a future waiting to be enjoyed. So using that science, we apply ethics, which is, morality, like philosophy, okay, to that situation. Just like with humans, we use science to realize, just like me, other people are also conscious and feel pain and do not want to die. So so then I use my ethics to say, well, I should not kill that human then, because I would not want that done to me. They don't want it done to them. It is harmful and unnecessary, and so I don't. Right? Same thing. So no need. We use science to look at the abilities of animals and their lives and what they desire and need. And then we use ethics to say, okay, well, they're just like little kids, so let's not stab them.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be per se your own, like, that would be your own personal opinion based on your own situation.
Yeah, pretty good
Like
opinion
right
though,
now,
huh? Pretty good opinion though, right? Like way better than the opinion that says, "Hey, I understand. I understand. Like to ignore science, to ignore science."
Wait a minute. We're in a debate here. Opinions are not what you want to use in a debate. I liked how you did it before. You were purely fact based. Opinions aren't what you use.
No, incorrect. In a debate, we use a combination of science, yes, science and philosophy, and other fields of knowledge as well. So yeah, like if we were talking about human rights, but we don't involve any morality, any philosophy, any ethics in our evaluation of the situation, then what that would be is just using the science and saying, okay, based on scientific observation and rigorous testing, we've now concluded for sure that all people, all humans, feel pain and want to live. But we're not going to use any ethical morality or any kind of philosophy any further to investigate this situation. We're just going to do that science. So fuck them. Even though they feel pain, stab them anyways. Because who cares about ethics? People change though. Societies evolve. And so I got hope for the future. If we look at other social justice movements, the women's right to vote movement, the civil rights movement, the gay rights movement, environmental movement, etc., even the animal rights movement has picked up substantial steam. So, and I changed. I used to eat animals most of my life, right? I used to make fun of vegans. So, look at me now.
That's true. You're like here arguing with hundreds of people each day about veganism. That must have been a huge change. So, in your own personal story as a vegan, how would you describe it?
An ethical awakening. Yeah, enlightenment, just like, what happened when I woke up to human rights, and started thinking, hey, I should not be so selfish and only care about myself. I should care about others and help them instead of hurting them. Because I used to be really violent and selfish, and I suddenly felt way better when I started caring about humans. And the same thing happened then with animals, and there you go.
So, would you put humans and animals on the same terms, or would you put animals over humans or humans over animals?
Depends on the animal and the human in question. Like if you're, I don't know if you're saying like all animals versus all humans, or if you're saying like one human versus one animal, and then I would say like which animal, which human, because I'm gonna definitely value a puppy dog more than Hitler. You know what I mean? I bet you would too. So just because somebody's human doesn't make them super special. Okay, there's a lot of terrible people out there. Hopefully they can be. I'm against the death penalty, so hopefully we can like understand that a lot of them came from abusive situations and they never recovered, and so they need therapy. But we can still like segregate them from society so they don't hurt nobody and shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, but like I don't.
I mean, on average.
What's up?
I mean, on average.
On average, yeah. Are you very impressed with the average human? I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to say, and it depends on what animal we're talking about. Like, is it an ant or a dog or a pig or like because I'm gonna value a pig more than an ant. Okay,
Isn't that
because
species it?
no, it's not because of what
That's
species.
pretty.
No, it's not.
I don't know, man. You're valuing a pig more than an ant.
Yeah, but I'm not needlessly killing the ant for my pleasure. That's the difference. So, like I said,
Well,
let me
I don't know.
clarify.
If
Just let me
if an
explain.
ant was like infesting your home and you just spray them and kill them all, you wouldn't think twice about it, would you?
Okay, so one
They're
time
infecting your home.
so when ants come into my house, I catch and release. Okay, pick them up, put them outside. Right, be nice to bugs. But I did have a situation once where I had a bed bug infestation, and they were like eating me alive while I'm trying to sleep, driving me insane from sleep deprivation. That's not cool. I got the right to defend myself, whether it's a bed bug eating me or you biting me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna defend myself, but I seek non-violent solutions first, right? Diplomacy, these kinds of things. You talk to them, say, hey, bed bugs, why don't you, eat yourself instead of me, hey? But they don't listen. They don't listen. So you pick them up and you get them the fuck away from you, right? But then,
they
wait, hold on.
understand you.
Yeah, but then, yeah, they don't understand, right? Yeah. So diplomacy doesn't work. So then I got to pick them up and move them out, right? And so I spent like several hours hunting all of these bed bugs and all these cracks and shit. And I even threw out my mattress and stuff, and I got them all out, right? Or so I thought. And then the next day, there's like 100 of them again because they breed like crazy. Overnight, they'll have like 100 babies, and then their babies start eating you alive. But I don't blame them. I mean, they're just little blood-sucking vampires. They don't know no better. They're just eating food, But I got the right to defend myself. And if I can't get rid of them with non-violence, then yeah, I got to resort to violence. And so I sprayed them and killed them all. And I wish I lived in a world where I didn't have to do that, because it is still like mean to them, but had to be done.
So, would you say that the industrial age of humans, like revolutionizing the factory to kill animals such as cattle stock or fish, would you say that that was a bad industry for humans to start picking up after
Yes.
the
Yes, we
what,
should
the
have.
Sony stuff?
Yeah, we should have just been growing plants the whole time.
So farmers, do you know how the Great Plains happened?
No.
Oh, I got a story for you.
Okay, well, hold on, because I have been talking to you for a while, and there's some other people with their hands up, so I don't know if we got story time. Um, do you want to like make it real quick, or like make your point without the story, or something like this?
I can make it like a 3 sentence long.
Okay,
story.
yeah, and we can
So,
we can explore it in depth another day if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, cattle was running around in the plains, tramped all the grass on it, and created a desert.
Hmm.
How would you say about humans, let's say, keeping this cattle stock into a progressive, like, little herd? Because with the mass population, like, and for instance, I believe in Delaware, there was a mass population of deer and the wolves, since we've been killing all the wolves and
Right.
making sure that we don't eat the deer, there's been an overpopulation of the
Yeah.
deer.
So we made that
So-
problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you say? What would you say for that? I mean, now hunters are taking the arms of wolves since they killed them. hunters know not to kill wolves or coyotes now because that caused overpopulations
Well,
underground
they're
and
still doing
was
it
me.
though. They're still killing those wolves to protect the livestock of animal farmers. So if we stop
I
if
don't know. They switched to more progressive states. Not all hunters will, kill things because they feel that it's the best thing to do. Now, I'm not saying
no,
that
they get
most
hired.
hunters. Some hunters, they kill just for the thrill of it.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like
That's
animal farmers will hire hunters to kill wild coyotes and wolves because those wolves would try to get onto the farm to eat the chickens and stuff that the farmer's trying to kill for profit. So so then the hunters are kill. So if instead we just stop growing, stop raising animals for meat, then we wouldn't need to kill the wolves, and then we wouldn't need to kill the deer that overpopulated because the wolves are no longer eating them because we killed the wolves to save the animals that we want to kill. It's just fucking stupid. The whole thing. Leave wildlife
or
alone. Don't just
or
leave the animals alone.
or we can just rebate back to the Mongolian tradition of hunting beside your animal friend.
No.
What was I mean? Come on now,
Be
a
nice to.
hawk chasing down a rabbit.
Jesus
So
Christ.
both you and the hawk have a dietary meal. Well, you plant the hawk goes hunting, and the hawk brings back something, and you share it with the hawk, fulfilling the life cycle and the cycle
That's like
begins. You
you. That's
release the
like
hawk.
that's like
No,
you.
you release the hawk. The tradition believes that once you release the hawk after 15 years, you
Uh-huh.
pet the hawk. You raise the hawk. After 15 years, you let the hawk go, and it spends its other 20 years gallivanting to whatever it wants.
Okay, you know what that reminds me of is when your cat runs off and comes back an hour later and brings you like a dead mouse. And then you're like, oh, thanks, buddy. I'm going to dig in. We'll share this together, this little mouse. Let's eat. All right, I got to talk to somebody else now.
All right, that was a great conversation.
For sure. I appreciate it. Follow me on YouTube.
All right.
Cheers. Okay. Pudding. Get up here, Pudding.
Hello.
Some pudding is vegan, and some
Yeah,
pudding
I heard. I found that out last time,
And s-
actually.
and some pudding is horrifically cruel to animals.
Yes, I know.
Okay, cool. What's up?
All right, so I'm gonna be pretty brief because I'm really tired. I've been sitting here a while, listening to a lot. I joined the stages like a week ago, and so I've just been kind of like listening in, trying to learn more about veganism because for me as a leftist, it just seems like a logical conclusion of, oh yeah, discrimination, all this stuff is bad, and then I've just heard a lot of good points. But
Sweet.
I just have like a few just pretty simple questions that I was just kind of curious about.
Awesome.
I
Go
wanted
for it.
to answer. All right. So one was in the case of okay, so I wouldn't go to the store like at the moment I'm not eating vegan. I'm like learning to like cook vegan and everything so that I can transition towards it because I'm really bad at like just jumping into something and being able to handle it. So working hard on it though. But basically, what do you do in the scenario that like someone cooks something, they cook a meal and it has meat in it? The meat's already been bought, like made into something, and you're just there and like you throw it away, well, not throw it away, like someone else would eat it, but like if nobody else is gonna eat it, is that like not vegan to like not like us partake in that meal?
I would throw it in their face. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. But I want to. Okay, so yeah, I would. They would know not to like try to give me that. First of all, they wouldn't. I wouldn't be in that area anyways. Like I don't hang out where dead animals are being eaten. Like I'll go to a non-vegan
Yeah.
restaurant, but what I'm saying is like the table I'm eating at has got to be vegan. If we're if I go out to eat with a non-vegan, it's got to be a fully vegan meal, or else we're gonna hang out another time, right? Because it's animal cruelty, and I don't want to encourage them to think that this is a normal behavior, that it's not a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so there's that, but also, yeah, so I would say, meat, like dead animal flesh that's been bought from the store. Okay, the animal's already been killed. Somebody else already bought it. Now it's there. It's cooked. All this stuff, whatever, and they're offering it to me. No, like they. Okay, okay. I would, or if they're offering it to you, whatever. What I would recommend is take it in your hand and turn on your camera on your phone and film this piece of flesh, and then talk about where it came from on camera. And hell, even take your phone and the piece of meat and go over to your computer, turn your computer on, and bring up my slaughterhouse videos on YouTube, and show your audience, that you're filming. So now you're filming this with your phone. You're filming the computer showing the slaughter video and the piece of meat right next to it. Make a nice little video here about what happens to animals to make these products, this quote unquote food, right? And then give that flesh to a wild animal who actually needs to eat meat in order to survive, as opposed to us. Instead of continuing the idea that it's okay to objectify animals, to commodify them, to slit their throats and turn them into a product and shit them out.
I can see where you're coming from. I've since I've been in the stages of the week, I've already started to be annoying with bringing up I guess vegan talking points for among friends and stuff. But I'm a fan of incrementalism. I know I'm not gonna be able to make a compelling vegan argument as someone that's not really a vegan yet. So I just try to I guess feed them some of the ideas, and I don't really expect them all to go vegan instantly. So
Yeah.
I guess it's more in the scenario where if I was at a house party and someone ordered a pizza and the pizza has dairy, all that kind of stuff. This is probably vegan to vegan, because I've heard some people on the stages say they just don't want to eat it because the thought of what goes in it disgusts them. But then I guess for me, it's more of a utility thing where I don't want to waste it.
Yeah, it's just that it's not a product. It's not I understand
Yeah.
the sentiment behind it is an animal suffered to make this, so we don't want their suffering to be in vain by throwing it away. But the
Yeah.
thing is, their suffering was already in vain because we didn't need to eat this. We did this for our selfish pleasure, so it would be better to throw it away than
Right.
eat it. But if you're at a party and they order pizza and it's got cheese and meat and whatever, I highly recommend that you just abstain for sure. I'm not saying you have to leave the party. I get it, okay,
Yeah.
but just don't eat it. Okay, you can still hang out with your friends. You can preach. You don't have to preach at everybody all the time. You can have a good time with your
Yeah.
friends, okay? And then you can talk to them one on one the next day about here's why I didn't eat that pizza, right? And then show them a slaughterhouse video. But or you can do what I would do, which is to give a speak out in the middle of that party, standing up on some fucking table and say, "Hey, everybody, those animals were abused and slaughtered as babies to make the cheese on that pizza." Right? And then I'd kick the fucking pizza off the table, right? So, and then I'd buy a new vegan pizza, to make everybody happy. But that's essentially what I would do. I'd film the whole thing. And the point of that is that that's way more, all of that, whatever way you do it, of, the super polite approach of, thanks but no thanks, I'm vegan now, I'm trying to stand up for animals, I've seen a lot of videos of how animals are treated to make cheese, and it's really messed up. So I'm just doing the whole vegan cheese thing now. So maybe you and I can, go get some vegan pizza sometime, and so you can still keep it lighthearted and fun while still educating them about the seriousness of this issue, right? And not making them feel like a bad person, right? Or you can do it more like what I'm talking about, what I would do probably, right? Which gets more people talking about it, because that then they're all gonna go home and tell all their friends and family, "Oh, this crazy vegan at the party stood up on the table and started screaming about slaughterhouses. It was crazy." And but that's good. That gets more people talking about the issue. So
That's what we call the vegan teacher approach.
well, I've been doing it since the people been doing it before me too. But I don't know. I don't know if she's done any protests or anything. But I know she's controversial and stuff. But
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay, cool.
Alright. Let's see what else we got. Okay, lab grown meats. So from what I understand, I've read that they are they harvest it painlessly or whatever. And I was just wondering about the ethics, like from a vegan standpoint, on that. Like,
Yeah. So, to the best of my knowledge, at least some of the lab-grown meat involves zero animal cruelty or death, and that's how it should all be. Maybe that is how it all is. I'm not informed enough, but like I have like a vegan animal rights activist friend who now works in the lab-grown meat industry, and that's what he was saying, at least about his company, that you just extract cells from a living animal without hurting them or killing them. This can be done, I guess, like either by taking a sample of their hair, or maybe scratch off a flake of skin, or maybe it's an extraction of blood. I'm not sure, but then you use the you. I'm not a science guy, but you like use these cells that you extracted from the animal to grow like a steak in a petri dish in a laboratory, and it's literal animal flesh, but no animal has to feel
yeah.
pain or die. And then you can like clone that piece of flesh or the cells that made it or whatever. So it's way better for the environment, obviously better for the animals. I wouldn't eat it. Sounds disgusting. I don't like eating
Yeah, it's a
flesh
little bit
now. Even though
science fiction-y.
even though like I eat vegan burgers that look, taste, and feel exactly like a regular burger, but I don't see it as weird or gross because I know that no animal cruelty is involved. Right? That's the only thing. Like I don't have a problem with tastes and textures. It's just the slaughter.
So I guess my follow up for that is, so from some vegans I've listened to and chatted with, they made a big point on consent with like in regards to say a cow, like if it had like excess milk and they take the milk, like something like that, or it's like a pet cow, not like factory farm, whatever. So is that wouldn't that be kind of like comparable to, because you're technically you're taking like the cows harvesting their cells or whatever with other consent. I know that's a little like this might be true.
No, that's a
Okay,
pretty
I was
good.
just curious.
No, no, I
Sure.
like that. I like that. I actually hadn't heard that or thought of that before, so that's cool. New things to explore. I think that the difference, though, is, and bear in mind that an argument against lab-grown meat could still be made. That maybe that like some animals are harmed or killed in the process,
Yeah.
or that
Oh,
this
for
can
sure.
lead to some kind of exploitation, or more kind of violent thing in the future or something. But if that doesn't happen, then it's not so much an issue. But with milking cows that are like taking eggs from a backyard hen, like if you got a cow friend living in your yard and they that you rescued from a slaughterhouse or whatever, and they've been artificially or they've been selectively bred and genetically modified by farmers for generations to overproduce milk. And so let the baby have as much milk as the baby needs, and then if there is excess milk that is like making the mother feel pain because she's like overproducing, then gently milk her and give that milk to other animals, or throw it away. Because we don't want to promote the idea that milk is a food source for humans, because then that leads to people being like, yeah, that reinforces my idea that milk is food. I'm going to keep buying it from the grocery store. And they get that shit from the factory farm.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right.
Cool. So that's how
Yeah.
sanctuaries work, like animal sanctuaries. That's like vegans who run an animal sanctuary. They rescue animals from factory farms and slaughterhouses and give them nice homes where they get veterinary care, belly rubs, and friends to hang out, good food, nice long happy life, and they do. And if they need to be milked, they milk them, and they'll give that milk to other animals. They don't sell that milk. They don't drink that milk. It's also really bad for your body. You're not a baby cow. It's got mad cholesterol and saturated fat and trans fat, which increases your risk of heart disease and different types of cancer. So stay away from the cow titty juice.
Yeah. All right. So, what are the like? I don't know if this pertains to veganism, but I guess it kind of does. It's animal rights. What's like the ethics for pets? That's something I'm trying to understand. It's
Sure.
like you mentioned earlier, the cat going out and bringing back mouse, cat, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was fun. uh, oh man, let's share this meal together. Okay. Okay, so look, yeah, with pets, okay, there's a few things about pets. Yeah, like carnivorous, pets, like little monsters, little demons that cats are. Like, don't let them run around outside unattended, I think, because they're fucking killing everything. Okay, for fun too. Like a lot of times it's not for food; they just kill for fun. Okay, so that, and then yeah, dogs and cats can be vegan also. Well, they can be plant based. They don't care about the ethical philosophy of animal rights, therefore they're not vegan. But they can eat a plant based diet. They can eat a vegan diet. All right. So and there's plenty of companies that make vegan dog and cat food because why would we kill some animals to feed others if we don't have to, right? So they've got all the nutrients they need. It's backed up by science. You can check it out. And then yeah, adopt, don't shop. That's for sure. Rescue animals who are going to be killed in the shelters instead of paying someone for a puppy, paying a breeder for a puppy. Don't do that. It's not cool. Those animals need a forever home. Okay. There's that, and then, but yeah, like they're not our slaves just because like they live in our homes against their will and we don't let them leave or whatever. It's not the same thing because it's like taking care of a little kid. You restrict their freedom to a certain degree just for their own benefit, so that they don't run into the yard, or sorry, they don't run into the street and get hit by a car. So we put certain restrictions on children and dogs for their protection, but we do value their freedom, and so we try to help them explore as much of that as they can, while maintaining their safety and not letting them harm us either. Okay, and then pets. Spay and neuter. Yeah, spay and neuter. They might want to have kids. They might be horny and want to get laid, but we don't have the resources to feed all their children and stuff like that. Like I said, there's animals who already exist who need our attention. We don't need to bring more animals into existence. And that's about it.
So is that what we do for like current animals in factory farms and all that stuff? Just kind of like spay and neuter them, and then
Yeah.
put them in sanctuaries, and then try let that population dwindle.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that sounds very fair. Alright, well, so like starting vegan, like I said, I haven't necessarily like started yet. Do you have like is there like a good like path that I guess
Yeah.
figuring that out and
Definitely. Yeah, the first thing I would say is you were talking about incrementalism earlier. I want you to envision. I want you to envision. Do a little imagination right now. Take that word, incrementalism, and the definition of it. Take that word and that definition out of your mind and into the reality in front of you, and reach out, grab it, look at it, realize this is fucking bullshit, and throw it away. All right? Okay, cool. Then just realize that you're strong and you're smart and you're a good person and you can do it. And the animals really need your help. It's not even that hard. You just buy something else. Because anything else is hypocrisy because you're against animal cruelty, but you're paying for it. And yeah, those animals are suffering because of you, and you know it. And now, after all of this, you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part because I got kind of put on to veganism. Probably like the general consensus. Everyone's like, oh, those vegans are crazy, and so that was obviously in the back of my head for the longest time. But I think it was like a year ago, I got a little bit interested in it, and I was watching videos by was it Earthling Ed? I think?
Yeah, Earthling Ed is great.
I was
Everybody.
watching his.
Yeah, everybody should follow Earthling Ed on YouTube. He's this really, he's from London. He's got this sweet British accent, and he's very eloquent and not like me. Like, well, I'm eloquent, but I'm in your face. I'm like rude and fucking yelling and cussing and shit. But Earthling Ed is like super polite, and he's just like, listen. Here's the thing about the animals,
Exactly.
right? I don't say you wouldn't want this done to you, would you? And this kind of thing, And so follow Earthling Ed on YouTube, and also Joey Carbstrong. He's from Australia, and he's kind of in between me and Earthling Ed in that he's more. Joey Carbstrong is more intense than Earthling Ed, but not quite as intense as me, I'd say. But Joey Carbstrong, Earthling Ed, and me on YouTube.
Yeah, so it was like I found him, and then I was researching it a little bit, and then it just kind of, I don't know, I just, it's shitty. Like I stopped caring. It's just I started to whenever I had anything with meat in it, like or dairy, like etc. Now I just kind of guilt eat that stuff, and so
Yeah.
it's like I kind of just want to not eat it.
That's funny.
So I'm trying to learn.
Yeah. Okay, well, just be done with it. Like it's already eating away at you. Like this food you're eating is eating away at you. All right, so stop letting it win. Don't doubt yourself. Like, sure, some people have generally more willpower than others, but we can all like learn to get a stronger willpower. Or maybe you are strong-willed in other aspects of your life, so just transmute that same kind of mentality to this issue. Like if you're impassioned about something else, use that same kind of energy to help the animals.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Oh, I just lost the thought. Shit. I think one of the most compelling things that, cause like I said, I ventured into it before, but I think now the reason I'm much more confident in it is because two things. One, I kept hearing like the documentaries mentioned, and I've had like a few of them just tabbed, but I can't bring myself to watch them. And that just more that mental thought of okay, I like eat that stuff, but I can't even watch how it's made. It's kind of
Yeah, that's messed up, and you need to watch those videos. You know, you gotta connect with the reality of what you're doing, and the victims. Okay, you got to do that because you've been, you are responsible, like we all are, for paying for this for years, and we have like a giant pile of victims, that we're responsible for. And there's future victims, and they need our help desperately. And they did nothing wrong. They did nothing to deserve being treated with violence. These are little babies and their mothers. It's horrific and it's traumatizing to watch these videos, but it's motivating. And that's why it's important. You need to be educated and motivated to make an informed decision and then to get active to alleviate their suffering. And if it was happening to you, you would hope that the people on the outside would be willing to find the courage to watch the video evidence of your oppression and your suffering so that they would be educated and motivated to rescue you.
Mhm. Yeah, it was. I kept hearing the one Dominion brought up because basically the past week, when I'm at my work, I can like listen to stuff, and so I've just kind of been sitting in the stages, and I think it was what's his username? Starts with an M. Magnus. There's this guy Magnus. He brought up Dominion so many times, and I was
Cool.
like, okay, watch it. And he kept telling people to watch it and then come back and like talk about it, and I didn't see. Maybe I just missed people, but there was nobody that like watched it and came back to talk about it. And then at that, I was like, that's like the same thing that I have right now, where I just not watching it, and these other people probably won't watch it, and that's just kind of sad to think about.
It is, but a lot of people are watching it and taking action and taking over. So join us or get out of the way. But what I would recommend right now is I'm posting in stage 2 text. Everybody can check out my 12-minute video that has 800,000 views and 20,000 comments called Warning. And this is, you can see the picture of the baby pig and their mother. Okay. So yeah, a bunch of people commenting in this video saying they had no idea animals were treated like that. They're never eating animals again. They're going vegan right away. So go watch that video and yeah, tell me what you thought about it. Channels in this server, like the Help Me Go Vegan chat. and there you can find free advice from other activists who are volunteering to give you, recipe guides or shopping guides or documentaries to watch, stuff like that.
Right. That sounds great.
Okay, cool. So yeah, get that.
Thank you for chatting with me. I hope that you have more good conversations. I know that I've been here like probably 2 or 3 hours at this point, so I've heard a lot of rough, a
Yeah,
lot of
for
rough
sure.
ones. But
Yeah,
as the
I started like 8 hours ago. I've been up here for 8 hours.